Hi guys, tonight we're going to make a comfrey and rosehip salve. Comfrey is a great wound healer, also heals up muscles and tissue and bone fast. So we're making a comfrey salve, and I infused my comfrey into my 420 infusion machine. Let's get this in place so you can see. My 420 infusium. So what this does is you put your oil and your comfrey in. I put some rose hips in, and it chops and heats it up. So I put that on 160 for 1 hour with comfrey and rose hips, and I used grapeseed oil. I like to use grapeseed oil in my salves because grapeseed oil has a lot of medicinal advantages to heal up skin issues. Okay? So we've got some hot beeswax. I have 1 cup. I don't usually measure, but I'm going to try to measure for you guys so you can get it right. I just kind of pour, and it always works out. So we've got 1 cup of hot beeswax in here, and how I do it, this is my comfrey and rosehip oil that's been infused into grapeseed. I just start adding it, and I stir it around. My beeswax with the oil. I give it a good stir, and then I want to see if it's a consistency that I like, so I do this. I want to see if it's thick enough or maybe it's too thin, so I always start low. I don't want to put too much oil in because then it'll be too thin. So I do this. Just let it sit for a second so it can I'll be able to feel it to see how soft it is or how hard it is. That's how I do it. So far we've got, I had 1 cup of oil, 1 cup of my mix here. And I'm using grapeseed oil. So grapeseed oil makes a softer salve than a coconut oil or olive oil. That would make a harder salve. Well, it's a heavier oil. So grapeseed oil is a lighter salve. And that feels actually pretty good. Because you want it to be a pretty heavy salve because you want it to stay on the skin. So you don't want it too thick. That's a little thick. So I'm going to add a little bit more. Let's go 2.5 cups. 1 cup of beeswax, 1.5 cup of oil. See how that goes. That might be a softer consistency, but still stiff enough that it'll stay on the skin because you want it to stay on the skin. And also another reason why I use grapeseed oil is because it absorbs into the skin really nicely. So you want this comfrey to absorb into the skin because you want it to go in and do its work. So let's take a peek at what the consistency is now. 1 cup of beeswax, 1.5 cups of your mixed oil, which is comfrey and rosehip in grapeseed. See how that goes. I think that's going to be perfect, actually. Give it a second. So rose hips, what do they do too? They're fantastic for skin, rose hips, for skin issues because they're loaded with vitamin C. So I'll put some information in the video of what comfrey and rose hips do, and also what grapeseed does too. Yeah, I like that. That's a great consistency. Now I'm going to pour my salves. I'm actually making this up for a lady. She wanted some comfrey salve, so this is for her. She's picking it up on Sunday, where I'll be with my products at 8 Simpson Drive, Chronic Kings. I'll be set up there with my products. St. John, New Brunswick. So these are going to be a great salve. And how many am I going to get here? Let's see. Ooh, that was a little shy. I'm making more anyhow. I just did a small batch for you guys. So I'll add more to that one when I do up some more mix. So what we had was rose hips and comfrey infused in the infusion machine with grapeseed oil. then that's our oil. You could also use, like, I won't use all of this oil for salves because this would be a great oil to rub on the skin if you had like a broken bone or a sprain or a stressed muscle or a stressed ligament. This would be a great oil to massage into the skin to speed up healing. So Comfrey is a great healer of the bones, plus works fantastic on the skin for skin issues to rejuvenate the skin. Actually, what Comfrey does is repair broken skin cells and damaged ones. It repairs them, and it makes new cells very healthy. So it's great for that. It's good for the hair. You could take Comfrey and boil it in water and strain it and put that in your hair. It's a detangler, so it works like a conditioner too, or a detangler. So after you washed your hair, you would spray it with Comfrey. You would just take the Comfrey, put it in a pot, turn it to a boil. Once it came to a boil, put the cover on it, turn it off, let it sit overnight, and the next morning strain it and put it in a spray bottle and use that for a detangler for your hair. Also a great natural conditioner.